in our show probably noticed it a lot. So we had this treasure hunt game, and having had experience with treasure hunt games in the furry fandom, I know that you guys are all very extraordinarily clever. But I think the failure this year was that we're also apparently somewhat timid. And we noticed certainly lots of people were answering the phones. Nobody was staying on long enough to sort of get addicted to the game. So we're working on something new for next year. But you'll probably see something related to a game next year, and whether it be a card game like we had before or whatever works well with the theme is really what it boils down to.
There were some hidden clues in your con book. There were some, the phones had some messages if you picked one up and listened.
Do you guys have the microfilm?
Yeah. There were a number of different clues hidden all around.
Yeah, it was very subtle because it only had room for 12 players. So that was why we didn't make this a big announcement, because we wanted to make sure that we could let the 12 players in, but not have to worry about the fact that we had 60 players all of a sudden and we weren't able to handle it. So that's why it was a subtle start, and only a couple of people got into the game and nobody actually solved it. So perhaps the play fair wasn't. Yeah.
In general, though, I should say that I think that the games that we do here are fantastic. That's one of the things that does anybody know of any other con that kind of does that sort of thing? I know they were playing our zombie games at another con with our zombie cards after last year. So we'll definitely try and keep doing something like that for you, no doubt about it. But, we're trying to be creative, and I think that's what Trappa meant on the tail chases. We don't want to recreate the same thing over and over again. So, I don't know what it's going to be next year, but I hope it's something good.
And if you have any ideas, then you should let us know.
Absolutely. This is your con.
Anybody else? Comments, suggestions, compliments, paying me money?
I see a paw on the back.
Not them, though. They don't get money. Just me. No. Don't give me money for that.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Steven. Hello, or Rue, or whatever. I just wanted to say thank you for playing the hour of actual music at the dance last night. That was very, very appreciated.
You are welcome for that. Again, we heard that we needed some variety last year, and really made a point of trying to do that. And I think Gene up here was one of the people that really wanted us to have something that wasn't electronica. Make sure we mixed in a little bit more than that too, because we have a lot of different tastes. There's 1,000 people here, so we have a lot of needs to meet. So thank you.
No, Gene, you can use that one. Stop being a duty.
Yeah, we did listen to the forums. We did listen to you last year, and I don't know how it happened. All I know is I got an email from Aloha going, "Hey, do we still need DJs?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Let me contact her." And the person that we ended up hiring, because I can't remember his name right now.
Tygon, why don't you stand
Tygon just came out as a furry a little bit ago. He works for Sakura. He works for SakuraCon and works his butt off at SakuraCon because they have like 4 or 5 rock concerts a day and all this stuff. And he told me yesterday, he goes, "I enjoy the point that I only had to work a couple hours, not 18 hours like SakuraCon." So we're most likely going to be keeping him. And evidently, I've been walking around and we've been recruiting people all over that want to start helping out on this convention. And somebody who still has to talk to his wife about it. But Alexander James Adams in the background has volunteered to be on our staff next year in theater.
Welcome to the dark side.
But remember, he still has to talk to the wife first. I'll remember when she calls and yells at me later.
Alex has had only one wife.
Core? Is that who you have to ask? Is Core?
Core only said okay.
Core said okay.
So I want to go back to Tropics.
Alexander's actually been doing
for him.
Alexander's actually been doing a lot of staff work for us, even unofficially. He's really supported a lot of our different events. You've probably seen him around, and behind the scenes, he helps me a great deal with the variety show and putting that in order and making it as professional as we can, given the fact that we're all just furries.
And you give me a mic that doesn't work.
Can we get the blue? I turned it on already.
I know you don't want to do that.
Gene, that was actually on purpose.
Probably. And Alex was also our first musical guest of honor for Rainfurrest 0.
When does this panel end? Are
Oh,
we
we
getting
soon.
close?
I can sit there and talk. Now, some of the
This
people...
panel ends in about 10 minutes, is the answer.
Oh,
Okay. Real quick, and hopefully somebody will give me time to make more announcements at closing ceremonies. There's several things we're launching this year, and I've got like 11. Yeah. Next year at Soulful Press's table, you will find an anthology from Rainfurrest. We have writers already wanting to be part of it. I've got all their contact information, and next year the book will be for sale here. All the writers are waiving all their money, all their 25 cents a word for all the money for that con, or for that book will go to whoever the charity is for next year. And as long as that book keeps selling, that money will go to the charity for next year.
And just to mention on charities, if you have a suggestion for a charity that you would like to see us donate to, please put it in the survey kiosks outside. Have I said survey kiosks enough yet?
No. And I'm going to give you one sneak peek before closing ceremonies. How many we have anybody that can sew in here? How many of you can build a plushie? It'll be on the webpage. I hope we have enough room. On the webpage, we're going to ask you as the fans, because we don't have a plushie mascot for this convention. How sad is that? So now you can start telling people anywhere between 12-inch to life-size cougar. The sex is up to you, but it does have to be G to PG rated. You need to start working on your plushie, because next year you need to bring it here. We will pick several judges, including guests of honor, and we're going to choose which plushie is the best. Now, you do have to give us the plushie. It is ours.
Does puppets count?
12-inch to life size.
Yeah, but is a puppet a plushie?
Is it fur?
Well, but then a fursuit would be a plushie, wouldn't it?
We're not going that big. No, we want a plushie or puppet, but not a fursuit, because if it's a fursuit, you have to live with the chair for a year. He will feed and take care of you. But mainly,
No food.
This will be our mascot. This will be our plushie mascot from now on. And you're thinking, Gene, what do I win for doing this? Well,
Nothing.
for Ron Con, Rainfurrest 2012, you will have a patron membership.
Yay, patrons. Who's a patron here? Yay,
wow,
everybody
you
give me a
guys
round of
rock.
applause. Yay.
Did you guys like the patron lounge or hate it? Well, at least you knew about it, right? Yeah.
But the washroom,
Do you have any comments? Actually, I'm sort of going to get us back on track a little bit.
Cut them off here.
I noticed, but I heard washroom, so I just decided not to let him talk. Oh, they're not allowed to.
Right, because generally that's the food prep and what they were supposed to do, and I don't know how it ended up. Well, I know how I ended up is another convention we used that as our hospitality, and my room, which is the one that connects to it, was supposed to be the bathroom, and that was my thought in mind. But I forgot that the treasurer is married to me, so they locked the door once the patron lounge opened. I'm sorry about that. We'll definitely work on that for next year. We'll put a Santa can out there or give you Tropa's room number.
So getting a little more back on track. That was pretty good. But since nobody else seems to have their hand up right away, let's just open the floor for potential departments. So let's start with registration. Any comments, complaints about registration? How many people stood in line for more than 5 minutes?
What line?
And when did you register?
That would be better. I pre-registered and I went registering on Friday morning. Yeah.
Friday morning. Okay. And how long did you spend?
About 7 minutes before I got held.
Okay. So more than 5, less than 10. Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah, let's see that convention over there in Pennsylvania do that.
So any comments or questions on that? Okay.
Registration was pretty quick. I was in registration for like, what, a couple minutes at best, and then bam, I was over with. So that was good.
Yeah, in fact, I know I
Sorry to
actually,
speak to the point.
I was actually having a conversation in registration, and I held up somebody getting to their kiosk by at least 30 to 45 seconds, which at Rainfurrest is a significant amount of time. So for whoever that was, I'm very, very sorry.
How dare you create a line?
Speaking to registration, and you guys may have covered this before I walked in the door. Do we know how many people showed up? How many
Wait for the closing ceremonies, and we'll let you know.
Okay.
So with no other on registration, how about what other departments do we have? Art show. Any comments, questions, complaints about art show regarding, except for the mishandled merchandise that we discussed earlier? The new panels are awesome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we put a lot of work into those this year. We have been borrowing panels for the last few years from other local cons, and as we grew up, we just thought, well, you know what? It's time for us to have our own. One of our board members really led a great team to put it together. Is he here? There he is.
Oh, there he is in the back.
That's the mastermind behind our new art show panels. So give him a hand. And his brother actually helped us out with his own wood shop to put all those things together too. So we invited his brother to be here.
And this year, you don't need a plumbing license to install them.
Oh yeah, and the boxes for registration, the props that you saw, were also from Texas Wood Shop.
Those were very cool. Yeah.
I like it. This year's art show, for everybody who doesn't know, was set up in less than an hour and a half, assembled and ready for the artists to start showing stuff in, and came down in less than 45 minutes.
But what was it last year?
I don't know what it was last year, but the year that I ran it, it was 8 hours set up and 7 hours to tear down.
And 4 hours last year.
Yeah, we're getting pretty good at this.
So yeah, the new panels are very good.
We have just 2 minutes left, so we should.
Just want to do some closing statements.
Well, I want to make sure that we've covered everybody's questions. If we have anything
Last
left,
chance for questions.
This is your chance. And again, there's somebody said something about like a kiosk, a survey kiosk.
Yeah, there was that survey kiosk. Who mentioned that? Anyhow, with this person I know, he was mentioning about the survey kiosk and was suggesting that perhaps people should use the survey kiosk that might or might not be located outside where the survey kiosk is. Just so you guys know, your registration will get you access to said survey kiosk. So maybe what you should do is follow that person's advice who was telling me about the survey kiosk and go ahead and go fill out the survey kiosk, whether it be here at the survey kiosk or online at the survey kiosk.
Just seeing our variety show, that was good. I see one more hand back there in the purple.
Is it about the survey kiosk? Don't forget about the survey kiosk.
Did y'all get the survey?
What about the survey kiosk? Oh. I didn't come in until the end, so this may have been addressed, and if it has been before, I apologize. But
It was. How dare you bring that up again?
I was wondering, how much leeway do people get in planning the different discussions and panels that go on at Rainfurrest?
Well, that's
Because I have a reason for asking. Because so many of them were wonderful, well thought out, well planned, but there were 2 or 3 that looked like they had been put together like 5 minutes before they walked in the room. And it's like, why am I even bothering to sit through this?
We did hear that actually a little bit earlier, and Bobby, did you want to say something about that, or?
Yeah, I was just going to say, before you got here,
we assured everybody that